Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk is canceled, according to Elon's mother, May Musk. Quote, "Actually, I canceled the fight. I haven't told them yet, but I will continue to say the fight is canceled just in case." Mama Musk was also angry at Lex Friedman for proposing a Brazilian jiu-jitsu match between the two billionaires. Dana White won't like that since he's very passionately pursuing a fight between Zuckerberg and Musk in the UFC. This is what the UFC president had to say in response to a comment that said Dana was chasing gimmick fights. Quote, "This is not a gimmick fight. Gimmick fight is MMA guys going to boxing and getting beat. We've seen it already and know how it ends. This is a fight between two of the most powerful and richest guys in the world. Who will win? Who's seen this before? Nobody. It's also a crossover fight that literally everyone will watch." Chael Sonnen went a step further and claimed Mark Zuckerberg told him in a phone call that he'd be fighting at UFC 300.
I didn't know you had news.
Zuckerberg!
Oh, Jesus.
Zuckerberg contacts me because he saw your tweet that I'm coming on.
Oh my God.
Zuckerberg has told me that he has agreed to fight Elon Musk at UFC 300.
Given Sonnen's history of telling stories, fans were naturally skeptical of his claims. A day later, Zuckerberg denied talking to him while speaking to TMZ. Whether or not the fight takes place at UFC 300, Dana White thinks it'd be the biggest in the history of combat sports, and Sonnen is estimating 25 million pay-per-view buys.
You could for sure do 10 million.
10 million?
Yeah, but Ariel, you could be closer to 20 and 25 because what I would predict is both of their companies would start some kind of a digital arm. So all of a sudden, I believe that Twitter would be hosting pay-per-views, and I believe Facebook would as well. Now you're talking 25 million. You just hear that? That's insane what I just said. You could do that if if it shifted and changed a little bit. Sure, you could.
UFC veteran Matt Brown is closely monitoring the chaos unfolding, and he's hating every bit of it. Here's what he had to say about Musk versus Zuckerberg. Quote, "These motherfuckers ain't gonna fight. What are you talking about? Everybody talks that shit. We're talking about them right now. Twitter's talking about them. Everybody's forgetting about all the garbage bullshit that they've done in their lives. I don't even know what they've done, but I know they've got a lot of haters. Like Elon says, why don't you quit talking shit about me buying Twitter because I'm going to go cage fight? And everybody's like, okay, no problem, bro. That's how these motherfuckers operate. It's a PR scandal. I'm asking the MMA community to be more intelligent than this. Can we see through this? Is it time for Ronda Rousey to make her return to the octagon? John Anik has a lot to say about it, but before we dive deeper into the story, please subscribe to our channel and turn on those notifications. Thank you. Ronda Rousey is widely regarded as the pioneer of women's MMA, and in her heyday, she was a force to be reckoned with as she ripped through every contender in the UFC bantamweight division until she faced Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes. Since her loss to Nunes in 2016, Rousey hasn't competed in MMA. She's currently signed with WWE. But with Nunes' exit from MMA and the UFC-WWE merger, the door for a rowdy comeback is open. If Rousey actually decides to return, should she get an immediate title shot? Anik wouldn't mind it.
If anyone is worthy of that type of opportunity, right, it's probably Ronda Rousey. And I do believe she would be competitive because she would not enter that setting without the guarantee that she would be competitive. But if ever there were a time, Jed, you're right, it would be absolutely now. And I'm not going to sit here and suggest she'd be a betting favorite against Juliana Pena or Raquel Pennington, but I can understand why people would be excited at the possibility. But in a true meritocracy, I do think that's a little bit of a tough sell.
While Anik thinks Rousey getting an immediate title shot isn't that big of an issue, he does see why it could be, especially when there are a number of deserving contenders in the bantamweight division.
Even though we can't settle on two obvious bantamweight contenders right now, it's not as though there aren't worthy title challengers, right? There are 4 or 5 women who I think are deserving right now, and unfortunately, one of them is not Ronda Rousey, but we'll see.
What do you guys think? Former UFC middleweight champion Alex Pereira had an uncomfortable experience while browsing at a Walmart. The Brazilian posted a video on his Instagram revealing how a Walmart employee followed him around the premises, which left him feeling uneasy throughout the experience.
Os caras me seguindo aqui, velho. Não sai da cola, velho. Adesso lo dirà chi è.
Pereira's arch rival, Israel Adesanya, responded to the incident by saying, quote, LOL, I wish the guy tried, Alex. They follow me in shops for different reasons now. Still, yuck this. Pereira is currently training under the guardianship of former UFC light heavyweight champion Glover Teixeira for his 205-pound debut against Jan Blachowicz at UFC 291. And he recently gifted his coach and best friend a motorbike as a token of appreciation.
I hope this is because you need a garage to store it in. What's going on, Glover? Glover, what's going on?
Não, vai ter que ir embora. Bora, você comprou, pô? Você é minha? Que isso, cara?
It's a little gift for you.
velho.
And you. You're crazy.
Isso, velho, mesmo?
Era uma delas, não era não?
Assim, caralho, velho.
Da hora, você merece.
Caralho, velho.
We all deserve a friend like Alex Pereira. Pali Malinashi thinks Jake Paul would beat Conor McGregor in a potential MMA fight. Malinashi and McGregor turned bitter rivals in 2017 after leaked sparring footage showed the boxer in a bad light. Malinashi claimed that the footage was edited to cut out parts where he had the upper hand. Since then, the two have hated each other. Malinashi doesn't like McGregor at all, and he'd bet on Paul in a potential MMA fight against the Irishman. Quote, Jake has a high school wrestler background, so he would not be totally out of his element in the cage. He'd need to be alert to his kicks, but McGregor had absolutely no balls. If you make him just a little bit uncomfortable, you're going to put yourself in a position where you might win the fight. You can make him uncomfortable by beating on him, or if he's beating on you, if you just hang in the fight, he begins to get nervous and paranoid. He's not a true fighter. He looks for the first window to jump out of. He's got athletic ability, but his anxiety levels get high. That's why he gets so tired in fights. In May, McGregor made a few disparaging comments about Jake Paul, going as far as calling him a donkey. Paul reacted by saying that he beat the living crap out of the Irishman.
I think Conor McGregor's funny as
He's hilarious.
like when I watch him like talk about me and he's like, oh yeah, the lad, he's a bit windy. He's a bit windy and he's a fucking donkey. And I was just like,
sound
dude,
like you're from fucking
I don't know what
New
I don't know how to
Delhi,
do,
bro.
But I'm like, yeah, bro, like yeah. But guess what, Conor? I'll beat the fucking fuck out of you, and you can't box as good as me. And I'm gonna do to Nate what you couldn't, which is knock him the fuck out.
McGregor's currently in a weird spot. He hasn't re-entered the US ADA testing pool, so he isn't eligible to fight Michael Chandler this year unless he gets a special exemption. However, Chandler is confident that a fight between the two will take place within 6 months.
I'm controlling the controllables, and I also know that either way, I'm going to keep on moving forward, and I do believe I fight Conor within the next 6 months. And it's going to be one of the biggest pay-per-views that we have ever seen, and I'm going to go out there and knock him out within the first 2 rounds.
Who do you think would win a potential MMA fight between Conor McGregor and Jake Paul? Let us know your thoughts on today's stories in the comment section below. To stay up to date with the latest happenings in the world of mixed martial arts and boxing, please subscribe to Takedown MMA and turn on your notifications. Thank you for your continued love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.